Man, things are just getting wilder out there with the weather. On the night of November 30th, 2025, folks in parts of South Africa, like Pretoria, Gauteng, and Limpopo, got slammed by one of the craziest storms in years. What started as a calm, warm evening flipped into total mayhem when lightning lit up the sky, thunder boomed through the neighborhoods, and a massive supercell storm roared in out of nowhere. In just minutes, huge hailstones started pounding down, some big enough to smash car windows, dent trucks, and rip right through roofs. Entire streets ended up buried under almost 8 inches of ice, turning weekend driveways into what looked like a brutal winter blast. Power went out everywhere, floods rushed in, carports caved, and homes took a beating as people scrambled to figure out what hit them. This storm came with zero heads-up, tightening up over Pretoria and nearby spots like a freight train. That light evening drizzle, it exploded into a brutal hail assault that caught everyone off guard. Neighborhoods that were buzzing with Saturday night vibes suddenly faced a nightmare cleanup. Folks in quiet neighborhoods suddenly heard this massive roar, like rocks pounding on roofs, carports, and windows. It hit so hard that many thought their houses were caving in right then and there. In just minutes, huge hailstones about the size of golf balls blanketed driveways, yards, and whole streets. Ice built up fast, stacking 7 to 8 inches deep, clogging drains and overflowing gutters everywhere. Water forced its way into living rooms and hallways, while roofs cracked from the non-stop pounding. Cars left outside got hammered, windshields smashed, hoods and sides dented bad, like crumpled soda cans. Drivers on the road had to pull over quick as visibility went to zero in the chaos. Streets turned into icy slides, covered in fallen branches, trash, and puddles that just kept growing. Some homeowners grabbed shovels and rushed out to clear the hail from doors, fighting to stop floods inside. In under 10 minutes, normal suburbs looked like frozen war zones. Dead quiet, total shock for thousands as the storm owned everything. Man, this is nuts. Gotta get this cleaned up quick. By peak time, whole areas across the region dealt with damage like you'd see in a brutal winter blast. Imagine a brutal hailstorm slamming into your neighborhood, piling up ice as deep as 8 inches in spots and turning streets into slippery ice rivers that trap cars right where they sit. Folks step out to a nightmare. Yards blanketed in hail, roofs cracked wide open, and roads littered with broken glass and twisted debris everywhere you look. Then the flooding hits hard, as clogged drains send water rushing into homes, soaking carpets, ruining furniture, and shorting out appliances. Families hustle to grab towels, buckets, and bins to catch the leaks pouring through split ceilings, with icy water sometimes ankle-deep in living rooms and halls. Thousands of cars take a beating too, windshields shattered, mirrors ripped off, and hoods pummeled like tin cans across parking lots. Carports and flimsy metal sheds cave in under the hail's weight, smashing vehicles flat underneath. Trees snap clean at the base, clogging roads and driveways, while power lines droop from the wind and ice overload. By morning, the whole area looks like a war zone, coated in white ice, swamped by water, all from a storm that raged less than an hour. Weather experts pin it on a monster supercell thunderstorm, the kind that packs a deadly punch anywhere on the planet. That afternoon, hot ground temps clashed with a rush of cold, shaky air over northern parts, sparking perfect conditions for a storm to explode. The supercell spins up, sucking moisture sky-high where it freezes into hailstones that just keep growing bigger with every pass. Eventually, those massive chunks get too heavy, and the storm unleashes them in a devastating barrage. Imagine chunks of ice as big as golf balls pounding down like bullets from the sky. With winds whipping at 50 to 60 miles per hour, those hailstones turned into a relentless barrage, smashing into cars, roofs, and anything in their path. This storm hit so fast, racing across the area in just minutes, that folks barely had time to take cover. Experts call it a flash supercell, the kind that builds up, peaks, and blasts out its fury before you can blink. Satellite images caught it intensifying on the spot, leaving emergency alerts in the dust. And get this, as our planet warms up, these monster hail events are popping up more often, thanks to wild clashes between hot and cold air. In neighborhoods like Welbeck, North Greenstone Hill, and Kemp Park, the damage piled up quick. Emergency lines lit up with calls about roofs caving in, windows exploding, and water flooding homes. One heartbreaking case, A house already battered by the hail collapsed on a sleeping family member, the night's first confirmed death, showing how these storms can turn deadly in seconds. Families across the region huddled in pitch-black living rooms, no power anywhere. They grabbed flashlights and phone lights to shuffle kids and grandparents to safer spots, dodging leaks from punched-through ceilings and hail that drilled right through the panels. For everyone there, it was a stark wake-up call on just how unpredictable our weather's gotten these days. Several neighborhoods got totally isolated when massive trees crashed down. Roof tiles shattered everywhere, and up to 8 inches of hail piled up, blocking doors and driveways. Folks inside were stuck, with all that ice shoving against their doors so hard they couldn't budge them. Some had to climb out windows or call on neighbors to help pull them free from outside. But even in the madness, everyday heroes stepped up. Neighbors hauled blankets over to homes getting flooded, lent a hand moving elderly folks to safety, and made sure families with babies were okay. As the storm raged on through the dark night, pounding the whole area, these tight-knit communities stuck together, dead set on shielding each other from this surprise nightmare. Word spread fast about roofs caving in, trapping people, and floodwaters rising. So emergency crews from Pretoria and nearby spots sprang into action right away. Firefighters, medics, and rescue squads pushed through pitch-black streets littered with debris, dodging down trees, live wires, and that thick 8-inch ice layer smothering everything. Their main mission? Find anyone alive, check buildings for collapse risks, and carve out safe paths back to those cut-off areas. Power teams battled all night to get the grid steady again, since thousands from Spartan Clear to Birch Acres sat in the dark. With winds still blasting at 50 miles per hour and roads jammed every which way, it turned into a frantic push against even rougher weather rolling in. Officials put everyone on notice. Blackouts might drag into tomorrow, especially with more storms brewing. Rescuers banged on doors, scoped out shaky houses, and hustled families out where ceilings sagged from water and hail buildup. In hard-hit spots, they fired up chainsaws to hack away branches and force open ice-jammed doors. Assessment crews fanned out to Kemp Park, Pretoria North, and Limpopo stretches, tallying up the wreckage to homes, cars, and city setups. All night long, emergency radio channels were active as teams coordinated rescue efforts, redirected traffic, and urged people to stay inside, avoid flooded roads, and report hazardous conditions. It was a massive response that showed both the vulnerability and strength of the affected communities. At dawn, the full impact of the storm was clear. Streets across Pretoria, Gauteng, and Limpopo were covered in thick hail. Broken branches, shattered roof tiles, and damaged carports littered the area. Residents faced a surreal sight, a frozen landscape in the heart of summer, with huge piles of ice stacked against fences, driveways, and under cars. Homeowners surveyed the damage carefully. Roofs cracked, living rooms flooded, gardens destroyed, and cars smashed beyond repair. Insurance companies were flooded with claims as residents documented cracks in structures, broken windows, and soaked interiors. Cleanup crews worked methodically through streets blocked by debris, cautiously avoiding down power lines and unstable buildings. Local businesses and government services struggled to get back on their feet. Festival Mall stayed partially closed after part of its roof collapsed near major stores. The post office and several government offices experienced network outages, delaying essential services. Utility teams warned that it might take time to fully restore power, especially with more storms predicted. Despite the setbacks, the community pulled together. Neighbors shared tools, food, generators, and manpower to clear ice and secure damaged homes. This spirit of cooperation gave hope amid the destruction. A powerful storm swept through, serving as a clear wake-up call. Weather extremes are growing stronger, making it crucial for every household and infrastructure to be ready like never before. As the ice slowly faded and the sun rose over Pretoria, it was obvious that a single storm had changed an entire area overnight. What started as a peaceful summer evening quickly turned into a scene with broken roofs, damaged cars, flooded houses, and communities stretched thin. The hailstorm on November 30th was not just any weather event. It was a sign that fast-forming, intense storms are becoming common in today's warming climate. Despite the damage, the spirit of the people shone through. Neighbors helped clear the ice, Families shared what they had like generators and blankets, and emergency workers stayed up all night ensuring everyone's safety. Their resilience showed a powerful truth. Even when nature hits hardest, communities can come together and rise strongest. If this story struck a chord, please like, share, and subscribe. Our planet is changing quickly. Staying informed is one of the best ways to stay ready. Keep following us for updates on the most intense storms, major climate events, and the stories shaping our world every day.